The reasons behind why the tribunal was moved to Abuja, what do you make of that reason that was given?
Well, I think that I don't think that the the movement of a tribunal to Abuja should be a surprise or an issue for debate, particularly amongst Rivers people. We are all Rivers people. We have seen what has happened in the state politically, in the political space and atmosphere over the past months. And I'm sure that anybody who has that knowledge should be able to know that the state is not a comfortable spot right now for members of the opposition. And so having the tribunal sitting in Port Harcourt in such an atmosphere, it is obvious to anybody that there will be difficulties in terms of security, in terms of freedom, in terms of access for members of the opposition if the tribunal were to sit in Port Harcourt. It will be quite difficult and challenging given the atmosphere.
Are you confident in the process?
What I'm saying is that you know that justice is in this country. It has its own challenges and speculations. And also, I'm a lawyer. We have had several instances where pronouncements of courts do not strictly follow the expectations of ordinary pundits. In my legal history, in my own time as a lawyer, there was a time when you could go to the courts and just by looking at the facts of the case and looking at existing Supreme Court pronouncements on that issue and looking at the law, any lawyer will be able to tell you what the judgment will be at the end of the day. That's how the law is supposed to be. But today in this country, particularly when it comes to political cases, there's always some bit of misgivings. But I have confidence in the judiciary, and I hope that those who have been given responsibility on behalf of this nation to look into these issues will do so fairly and justly in a manner that enthrones truth and justice and brings peace and succor to our land. I don't think that the sitting of a tribunal is about justice.
Okay.
I think it's about it's part of creating an atmosphere in which justice can be done. But I think it's more about access. Because if the tribunal sits in a place where you cannot go, your own people cannot go freely, where you cannot go and present your facts and say your bit, then the issue of whether there will be justice or not becomes secondary because you cannot even go. So, like the INEC office in Port Harcourt was blockaded. People couldn't even go there. We couldn't get materials. We couldn't get any cooperation from the INEC in the state because
Did you
we
succeed?
couldn't even have access.
Did you succeed? Because the last time we spoke about the access to some documents from INEC, you told me that INEC had said they were going to work. You're working with your party, and they were going to. You're going to lay hands on those documents.
They didn't yield any fruit. We couldn't even access the place. The day they told us to come and collect some documents, we called the police to provide security for our people to be able to go there, and everybody absconded. So, to me, the issue of the location of the tribunal is not so much about justice. It's about access. If the tribunal is in Port Harcourt, for example, and you bring, say, a lawyer who is not ordinarily resident in Port Harcourt, with what happened even to the lawyers in their hotels, are lawyers going to feel free to come to Port Harcourt and take up base in a hotel and say they are coming to do a case in which they know that the government of Rivers State has an opposing interest? Would they be comfortable? Would they feel safe enough to come and do that? And the witnesses and all that. So I think that the issue of location is not so much about justice. It is about access.
All right.
So I don't think that calls for too much debate.